Okay, so my name is Ken Graff, and as we say in South Texas, I'm el jefe, the boss. So that's my role. We own and operate the Graff 7A Ranch, my wife and I, Lori. First time in 24 years we've never had a maize crop, and I did not realize how big of a punch it packed, but it packs a big wallop, and so it's really, if we had not built that new slide this year, it would be a disaster. We can handle 5,000 to 7,000 people at a time, and all I know is the numbers. The biggest day we've had this year is like 1,700 people. So that's a big drop from what we're used to. Everybody wants to come for the maize, and we don't have it, and they're not coming.
It does feel different this year, even just besides the corn maze. Don't know what that is, but again, it could be, we weren't aware of the drought stuff until we saw the signs of it. We're aware there's a drought, but there's things that kind of are noticeably different. But, yeah.
Ken and Lori Graff opened their annual corn maze in 2001, but the Graff family has been ranching in Hondo since the 1870s. And Ken's great-great-grandfather was one of Hondo's original Alsatian settlers.
He's buried right out the back door of my house, so pretty cool. It's just a way of life. I guess it's hard to explain. Grew up that way, and enjoyed it all my life. Good Lord put some things in my path I probably wasn't expecting, and things I did. Business-wise and stuff, and like where we're interviewing here today, who'd ever thought that I'd be entertaining tens of thousands of people a year, and never saw that one coming. But it has been a blessing, and it's kept the farm alive. Here we are, now there's 7 generations riding around. 7th generation is going to be learning how to drive tractor here before long, so
that's awesome.
It's all good.
Except now, there simply isn't enough water in the Graff's well to grow the corn they need, threatening their ability to continue hosting the South Texas maize.
So, being I'm in the so-called bottom of the jug, I get a little bit, but it doesn't refresh or refill. I can supposed to be able to pump 24 hours a day if I want to, and I can get about 2 hours of water, and then I gotta let it recharge back up, because it's just not there.
In Texas, property owners not only own their land, but the water underneath it. There are 9 major aquifers in the state. The Texas Water Development Board also recognizes 22 minor aquifers, but there are countless more that are not officially recognized. In 2020, groundwater sources supplied 55% of all the water used in Texas. Irrigation and livestock users relied on groundwater for over 75% of their water supply. Because these underground collections of water are stored in the pores and crevices of rock, they can only be accessed through wells or springs. When the water is removed, it can slowly be replenished by rainfall, which seeps through the soil back into the aquifer. However, Medina County, where the Graff Ranch is located, has been facing extreme drought for the past 3 years.
15 years ago, the water was down 15 feet, and it's just gone up and down, but down. And so it just, you've got a combination of drought and a combination of people pulling water out, and that's just has been a bad combination overall. And they're on the north end, so the first ones to start losing water are upstream. And so they're the ones who are starting to run out a lot more.
David Caldwell says although not all wells in the area are currently at risk of running dry, water levels are approaching record lows not seen since the 1950s. Groundwater conservation districts, or GCDs, like the one managed by David Caldwell, have the authority to regulate spacing and production of water wells. About 68% of all the counties in Texas are partially or fully within the jurisdiction of a GCD. The Medina County GCD sets annual limits for the amount of water property owners can pump from their wells. This is based on desired future conditions determined by groundwater management areas. But even with pumping rates remaining below those maximums, water levels are still dropping. In fact, Caldwell says under current conditions, property owners couldn't exceed these limits even if they wanted. The water isn't there.
I think it will probably end up staying the same until we can come up with a better. We know something needs changes, but we don't know how, and so until we know what needs to be changed and how it needs to be changed, we'll probably keep what we got right now.
Ken Graff hopes that this year's lackluster maze will finally motivate the community to find a solution.
In this area, neighbors and friends, cabbage, spinach, spinach will be going in here before long. All the cucumbers are just out, cotton's out, corn's out, oats is just now coming up. Oats and wheat will be planting here before long, and lots of cattle. So that same water that they brush their teeth with in the morning is the same water that we use for those foodstuffs, for your food and fiber.
Yes, I guess the expectation was like the corn maze being bigger and actually being like a huge maze that you had to like find your way through to get out. It wasn't a letdown, but it was
different.
Definitely different.
Yeah, I thought the corn was gonna be a little bit higher and it was gonna be like thicker. We wouldn't be able to see through it, but it was kind of like sparse, I guess.
I really enjoyed it. I think it was really fun. We didn't go to the maze, but like walking around to all the hay bales, and I loved the flower patch. Like walking through all, like I love flowers so much. It just made me so happy to like walk through it all.
Yeah. For me, it was really fun just to be with my friends and be able to take really fun photos for my Instagram and just be able to see like different people here. And we got some extra flowers to make some Bible verses on, so that's what we're gonna do once we get home. And so yeah.
As far as we're concerned, don't need another patron until we open the next September, because it wears you out. It's long hours. So it's just, we kind of use that as our big deal, and then just kind of get everything ready for the next fall. But I'm afraid this year we're going to have to do more in here to keep things going to get us to fall next year. But we've got to have some rain.